As a former disciple of the Birds Aren't Real movement, this video is especially hard for me to make. It wasn't until recently that my eyes were opened to the lies and deception behind this organization and their motives. I first set out on this journey looking to debunk the skeptics. I took it on good faith that this organization had all the evidence needed to back up their claims. They even had a website. It all made perfect sense in my head, but when I started digging, the threads began to unravel, and the truth is darker than I could have imagined. January 2017, Memphis, Tennessee. Peter McIndoe makes an Instagram post claiming that the CIA had committed a genocide, killing every bird in the world and replacing them with spy drones. Knowing the CIA's track record, this made perfect sense to most people, myself included. That post would soon go viral, launching the international business empire we now know as Birds Aren't Real. McIndoe soon took on a false public persona, standing on street corners holding signs with outlandish slogans in order to drive his own profits and sell merchandise. His charisma and cult-like following made him, in a way, the Jim Jones of truth seekers, leading his followers on a path to destruction. For him, the story ends there. McIndoe took the money and ran. He later went on to admit that not only does he view the entire movement as a joke, but it was actually seeded into his mind by an operative posing as one of his staffers, who then quickly vanished, taking no credit for the theory. Now think for a moment. If you came up with a theory that gained global attention, wouldn't you try to claim your stake in the profits? The only logical explanation is that Peter McIndoe was nothing but a CIA patsy himself, along with the likes of Lee Harvey Oswald, Ellen DeGeneres, and the Vegas shooter. The idea was cleverly planted into his mind to distract public attention away from the true origin of the theory, the CIA themselves. In my time as a Birds Aren't Real follower, I spent many wing nights and turkey dinners in a malaise of cognitive dissonance. If I truly believed what I had been learning, that must mean that I was eating biomechanical matter, robot meat. Deep down, I knew that couldn't be. I had to accept the fact that I had been lied to. But ask yourself, when was the last time you saw a bee? I'm old enough to have lived through the supposed CIA bird genocide of the early 2000s and noticed no real change in the population. Then it dawned on me, everything that McIndoe claims about birds is actually true about bees. Could it be that the entire movement was a psychological operation to distract us from what's really going on? The anonymous scientist who was just quoted was trying to get across an important point in a way that would keep him out of hot water and off the hit lists of the elites. Bees ostensibly defy the laws of nature. Could it be that they're not from nature at all? It's hidden in plain view. We all remember the murder hornet scare of 2020. Around that time, the CIA was rolling out the first phase of this operation. The technology was not yet advanced enough to be contained in a honeybee-sized vessel. They were close, but rushed into using what they sold to the public as murder hornets, a housing 2 to 3 times larger than a regular honeybee. They have since quickly scrapped the clunky murder hornet housing in favor of a smaller, sleeker model, the honeybee. Robot bees are trained to carry out covert military operations, both foreign and domestic. They're programmed to do things like jamming security cameras, putting security guards to sleep while on duty, infiltrating secure buildings and bases, and even terminating their target, all without raising any red flags. As for now, it appears robot bees are a force for good. But how long until they turn on us? Expect to see a rise in the bee population in the coming years, and assume you're being hunted.